Okay. So we'll just jump into the agenda. There's a lot going on today. So there's a lot on the agenda anyway. So first, a couple of notes to celebrate. Congrats to Alexi on earning a discretionary bonus nominated by Camille. I will read more about it in the company agenda today. Feel free to take a look, but great work in the last week or so.
I'm really humbled.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Lots of good feedback from folks about all the hard work you're doing. So thanks, Alexi. Another note, so can't mention the name since this is being recorded and posted, but we have another candidate accepted an offer and they will start on the 1st of October, which is awesome. On that. So I wanted to talk a bit about the timelines because they've changed yet again. They're still, it's not entirely clear to me when the cutoff happens for any kind of milestone release. I don't think there's a time or dates. Well, there's a date, but I don't think there's a time of day set in stone for the final cut, for the final release for a milestone release. So, but development ends on the 17th. Usually they cut a release candidate sometime shortly thereafter, depending on which day it lands on. So if you have any questions, take a look at the link for the product timeline. And then within that page, there is an auto deploy transition doc in there as well, where we essentially have an auto deploy every week. And you can take a look at those dates and cutoffs, and I'll try to remind everybody on these weekly meetings when they happen. So, any questions on that? All right. So while Andreas joined the memory team last week, it is likely he's going to transition to the newly approved database team whenever we can get the hiring figured out for that. So the database team was actually approved last Monday, like right after this team meeting happened when we announced Andreas was going to join the memory team. So regardless, we got Andreas over here working with us, which is fantastic. And once we actually get hiring squared away for the memory team, right now we don't have anything until Q1, and we're trying to bring a couple hires forward to Q4, which would start on November 1st. So if we get those, then Andreas will shift over to there, and we'll get an opening on the memory team again, and it'll all balance out. So for now, Andreas will continue to focus on database work, and but he'll participate in our meetings, let us know what's going on over there, and sometimes recruit some help if we have some burning issues, which we have a couple right now. So any questions on that? Nope. All right. So timeline, 12.3 is closed. There's probably a couple items that are still, I haven't looked at the milestone board, but I'll ping folks on those individually and make sure we either close them or move them off to 12.4 if they are truly not done. And then I was going to walk through all the issues on the 12.4 board. If people aren't here, like Jinyu and Camille aren't here, then we'll just have them watch the video and they can respond and update accordingly. So first issue is the improved pipeline process service. So I moved it to InDev because I know that Camille's working on it. And if I read his note correctly, I think once the MR related to this is closed, then steps 1 through 3 will be complete. And open it up so everybody can see. And then we'll need to break down. So these 3 steps will be complete with the related MR. And then probably need to break down the subsequent issues break down this issue into subsequent issues. So I'll have Camille take a look at that. Alexi, I think this one might be of yours.
Yes, I'm currently working on it because Camille made a couple of great suggestions of how we need to refactor it. So I'm currently fixing specs, and I'm really hoping to push it to review tomorrow. So okay. I hope it should be wrapped up pretty soon.
Okay. I moved it into InDev on the workflow board. Thanks. And then I was asking to put a weight on there. I know you're kind of in the middle of it now, and ideally we'd put the weights in before we started, but better to get into the practice of it than let it slip. So if you could put a weight on there and just ping the channel, let them know, see if anybody has any questions about the work being done. Okay, I didn't put a link for the next one on here. Sorry, I didn't get all the links on here. So this one got your name on it as well.
Yeah, I started to work on that, but I was switched back to the previous one because it was closer to being finished. And on this one, I'm currently looking into the code itself, so I didn't start implementing it, I would say, but the description is pretty great. I mean, from Camille, so there is some plan how we should tackle this. And yeah, when I will return to this ticket, I will assign a weight and maybe wrap it up if I will have any additional comments on that.
Okay. And then this is Chinyu. So Chinyu, I'll just ask you to update the headline and description for the issue. It's pretty opaque, or it's pretty, it just says follow up. There's not a lot of detail there. And then add a weight and ping the channel. Same thing for the next one, profiling of Sidekick job. Seems like a logical first step. So I tried to make my best attempt to put these in priority and logical order. So Sidekick, that's the next big project the team's kind of undertaking. And first steps seem to be allowing execution and memory profiling, and then the rest of them build on top of that. And a lot of them, most of the Sidekick jobs have Chinyu's name on them. So once you pick them up, Chinyu, as you're watching this, add a weight, ping the channel, and then move them into in dev when you pick them up. And then there was a bunch that seemed, because of Sidekick, there's kind of a logical order of them. They should be blocked by the others. And there was a bunch that I think we should probably move to 12.5 because there were so many in order. Let's see. Next one, defining the best default values in Omnibus for Puma. We don't have an owner for that, but I think once we're done through staging and configuring some of the values in there, and I know that Andreas was working on some of the DB pool values in staging, and we're ready for Canary, then we should work on updating the default values in Omnibus. And it might not be our team that sets those, but that's down the road when we're working on Puma. This one, Chinyu spent a lot of time with a community contributor on this, and he will continue to review the MR as they're making progress on it. I don't remember who's on this one. Chinyu. Again, Chinyu, once you start working on this, add weight to it, ping the channel. And then I think the rest of them, we have quite a bit that are in the milestone for 12.4. And I think there are probably quite a few that we need to push over to 12.5. And again, they're in priority order. So I think a lot of these investigative ones, we might push on to 12.5. And since both new hires will be joining in this milestone, it might be something that they can pick up and start focusing on once they get up to speed. All right. So chronic duration is closed. Does staging have this new change, Alexi? Do you know?
Yeah, even the production has this change. So okay. It's already in our latest milestone. So I guess staging too.
Okay. Andreas, do you think any of the issues that you're seeing in staging right now would stop us from wanting to push to Canary?
You mean the issues with the QA suite and staging?
Yeah. Is it showing any issues that should be concerning before we push to Canary next?
No, I don't know about that. Okay. We do have a few problems in staging with QA though, but I don't have the details.
Okay. I will chat with Camille when he's back in the office about what to do next on Canary. And then Andreas, you want to talk a bit about the database work that you're working on?
Sure. So I think the major issue for 12.4 is the first one, to reduce the lock contention on one of those tables. I added a bit of instrumentation, so that goes to production probably this week. and there is a fix for actually removing unnecessary work that we're doing. I hope that sort of is the major fix that we need to do. And if there is more work that needs to be done, probably need some feedback from the CI group, or maybe we can actually hand that over. The second point is something that was signal boosted over the weekend. We know that there is an integer overflow coming around for GitLab.com. There is one table that is sort of the major offender in that sense, and that's short from overflowing. So in the next few months, I'm just looking into how to fix that. There is maybe a chance that we can just drop that column, which sort of would fix it easily. And if not, then I would like to work with the CI group and see what we can do, because we have to address that for GitLab.com rather soon.
Mm-hmm. How much of a pain would it be to upgrade to Postgres 11? Because I know that's a blocker to even get to the changing it to int 8, I think was part of the proposal, right?
Yes, there is a proposal for actually migrating with no downtime those columns, and that requires Postgres 11. The upgrade is sort of more involved if we want to do a no downtime upgrade, which is something we consider for GitLab.com. That there is a lot of infrastructure work that needs to be done, and it's not necessarily straightforward at that point. And we had that as an OKR for infrastructure. We dropped that recently, and I don't know what the way forward is with that at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, and there is another issue with the slow query that we identified. I haven't started working on that, but the fix is rather straightforward, I guess. And the remaining part is team tasks for clarifying responsibilities, role descriptions, and interviewing, that kind of stuff.
Yep. All right. And then the last thing, I can't remember if we talked about it last week or not, but other teams label noteworthy issues with the label release post items, so that near the release, I guess the company-wide call where we talk about what's being released, product management can just kind of look through the issues that are labeled with these from our team and include them on the videos and the announcements they have for our release. So if we're doing any work that is noteworthy to call out for the release notes, then please label it accordingly.
How could we understand if it should be included for release work? For example, if you're making something more like performance, should it be released? I mean,
yeah. I mean, if you think it's important to note, then just add the label. You know, and if there's too much information, or if they don't think it's impactful for the customers, then they won't include it. But it's just a call out to product management to take a look at that when they're getting their release notes together. It's not going to force any kind of release notes or any kind of blog post, right? It's just something for them to know that we did some noteworthy work and they should take a look at it.
Okay, good.
Yep. That's it. I honestly didn't think we were going to get through the agenda today because there was a lot on there. Anybody have any questions or anything, any other topics we need to cover today? Nope. All right. I'll let you have some time back then. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.